I'm back! That's right, after a brief 1-month hiatus from YouTube, I am back with some awesome new content, and I'm going to share where I've been this past month, as well as what I accomplished this past year of 2018 and what I hope to accomplish this year in 2019, so stay tuned. Alright, so like I said in my intro, I have been on a brief YouTube hiatus for the past month or so, and let me just explain a little bit about why that is. So in the middle of December, I came down with a really horrible sore throat. It was so bad and so swollen that I could barely even drink water. It hurt so much. And I'm a big advocate of trying to find the natural remedy of things. I don't like going to the doctor and just getting medicine right away. So I tried finding the natural remedy for everything that I was experiencing, and nothing was helping. So eventually I gave in and just went to the doctor. They did a strep throat test at first, and it actually came back negative. So because the strep throat test came back negative and I had this really swollen throat, and even my glands were a little swollen, the doctor said that she has to do a blood test now for mono. And so they did the blood test, and I got diagnosed with mononucleosis, aka mono, aka the kissing disease, which is so dumb because my love life sucks, and I probably didn't even get it from kissing. I probably just got it from sharing a drink with a carrier. Anyway, in the middle of December, I got hit with that news that I was diagnosed with mono, and I wasn't honestly super familiar with mononucleosis at the time. So after I left the doctor, I did a lot of research on my own, and I talked to friends who had mono before, and they all said the sore throat and stuff usually goes away in about 2 weeks or so, and once that goes away, soon after it goes away, you just get hit in the face with a ton of horrible fatigue. And according to like all my friends and stuff who experienced mono or had other friends who experienced mono before, they all said that the fatigue was so bad that like you were just in bed 24/7. Like you couldn't even find the strength to get out of bed. And so as my sore throat got better and better throughout the days, I just kept waiting for that getting hit in the face with that heavy fatigue. So I went to social media and I said, hey, I'm going to take a step back from social media and just let my body heal, because I was anticipating getting hit with that horrible fatigue and not being able to do anything. So I just wanted to give a heads up to all of my followers. And I ended up just staying pretty active on Instagram anyway. I did end up taking this brief hiatus from YouTube. But the interesting and slash funny thing about this mono thing that happened is that I just kept waiting for that heavy fatigue to hit, and I kept waiting and I kept waiting, and it never came. Like, I just psyched myself out for this like heavy fatigue that I'm going to be experiencing because of mono, and I was just so prepared for it and prepared myself, my mind and my heart and all that stuff for it, and it never came. And it's very interesting because I'm like partially like upset about it because I like just wasted all of this time worrying about it. And then it never came. But then I'm also obviously like incredibly lucky and incredibly blessed that I didn't get hit with that heavy fatigue, and now I'm like 100% better, which is really awesome. So anyway, now that I'm back on YouTube, I wanted to share a little bit about what I accomplished this past year of 2018 and talk about my goals for this upcoming year of 2019. The first thing that I am super proud of doing this past year of 2018 is that I officially started my author platform. So I started this channel back in like April or so of 2018, and from there I even dove into Instagram even more, and I just grew this amazing author platform and connected with so many amazing writers across the country and across the world, and I am so grateful that I jumped in. It was definitely very scary when I was first doing it. I was incredibly shy, but I just kept at it and I kept pressing, and now I find myself in the middle of this amazing writing community, and I am so happy that I took the plunge. The second thing that I am super happy that I accomplished this year is that I joined the Plotter Life team. So back when I first started doing my author platform, I discovered this Facebook group called the Plotter Life Writers Community Group on Facebook that was hosted by author Brittany Wang, and I became fully immersed in that. It was so supportive and I got a lot of great feedback from other people, and I loved sharing my knowledge of writing and giving feedback to other writers on there. And so because of the way that I was so active in that group, Brittany Wang reached out to me as well as a couple of other writers from that group to join her in having the Plotter Life Writers Community team, the Plotter Life team. And with that, I've been able to, one, connect with Brittany Wang and the other writers in the Plotter Life team even more, which has been so amazing. But I've also been able to help bring more advice and more knowledge and stuff to the writing community on that Facebook group, and create some awesome events and positive community and feedback, and it's just been such an amazing experience, y'all. The third thing I am super proud that I did this year is I finished my book. So I started Karma's Children back in like November of 2017. And I really, when I started my author platform back in April, is when I really just started diving into writing even more. Like, I was kind of just doing it on the side for fun when I first started it. And then I was like, I really want to like finish this book. And on the last day of August, I finished the first draft of Karma's Children Discovery, which is a dark YA urban fantasy, and I am super excited about it. I've gone through several drafts of it already, and now it's with my editor, and I'm expecting to release it in spring of 2019, hopefully sometime in April. I don't really know if that's still technically considered spring, but my birthday is in April, and I just would think that it would be such a cool and unique birthday present to myself to be able to hold my book in my hands. The next thing that I am super proud that I did this year is that I just got outside of my comfort zone a lot. I joined that Plotter Life team, and I also joined the Pondering Writers Retreat team. And basically what we did in the Pondering Writers Retreat is during the month of NaNoWriMo, we hosted a bunch of live sprints on Instagram, and it was so much fun. And it definitely got me out of my comfort zone. When I first started doing those lives, I was so incredibly nervous because it's literally just me on camera for an hour. And or longer if I was doing it on Facebook. But it was such a cool experience, just putting myself out there and getting myself outside of my comfort zone. And I'm so glad that I did it because I got so much more comfortable in front of the camera and just chatting it up and talking with all of you. The next thing that I am super proud of that I did this past year in 2018 is I opened my small bookish bath shop. So if you follow me on Instagram, you may already know this, but I started a small shop online, kind of like an Etsy shop, but I have my own website and everything, so I'm not technically considering an Etsy shop, but it's called Story Salts, and basically what I have in there is a bunch of different bath products. Right now they're just bath salts related, but I do plan on adding some different products down the line in the future. But right now we just have some bath salts on there, and they're all inspired by different books and stories. And so they are just perfect for those like self-care days that you have where you can just relax and sip some tea, get a coffee, pick up a book, and just soak in those bath salts and let your mind and body relax and rejuvenate and recharge. So I started that towards the end of 2018, and also towards the end of 2018, I started a book club. If you've been following me on here and you follow me on Instagram, then you may already know this too, but I started a book club with some of my friends from Instagram, Marie Ventress, Cassandra Carpio of The Bookish Crypt, and Dawn Kurtikich, to start this spooky new horror-themed book club that we're calling Book Fiends. So what I did with this is I met all of these amazing writers and talented, beautiful women on Instagram, and I wanted to create this horror-themed book club, and immediately those three names popped into my mind, and so I reached out to them and connected with them, and we actually we've been chatting or whatever on our group message for a while now. We started the Book Fiends Club back at January 1st, so we are actually reading Sawkill Girls by Claire Legrand, and I'm loving it so far. It is so spooky and creeptastic. It's just amazing. So we're reading Sawkill Girls by Claire Legrand for the month of January, and we actually just posted the announcement for our February book of the month, and we'll be reading Kill Creek by Scott Thomas, so I'm super excited about that. It's basically the classic tale of a haunted house story, which is really cool. Anyway, I am so happy that I started that book club back towards the end of December, because it has allowed me to connect even more with those three talented writers that I mentioned earlier, and we actually just had our first video chat, and it was just so amazing because we were all just so comfortable with each other automatically, and I just can't wait to see our friendship grow in the future. Alright, so now that I've talked about everything that I did in 2018, and now it's the time to talk about what I hope to accomplish this year in 2019. First up, I have probably the most obvious one. I want to publish my first book. So, like I said earlier, I am trying to shoot for an April release date of Karma's Children Discovery. So hopefully that happens soon. I mean, if not April, then I'm definitely doing it this year. There's no doubt in my mind that it's going to happen this year. Number 2 is I want to finish writing book 2 and possibly book 3. Karma's Children is a trilogy, and I am about a third of the way through book 2. NaNoWriMo definitely helped me out a lot with that, and I definitely need to kind of get back into it because I haven't been writing in the last couple of weeks because I've been busy with a lot of other things, which you'll actually find out in a second here what those other things were. But yeah, so I want to finish book 2 and possibly book 3 by the end of the year, so that I can reach out to beta readers and critique partners and stuff, and hopefully, maybe, be able to publish book 2 by the end of the year, maybe in winter or fall of 2018. I think that would be awesome, but let's see if that happens. So as I said just a second ago, I was kind of busy this last couple of weeks, and here's the reason why. I was working on an English as a second language teacher certification so that I can apply for the assistant English teaching position in Spain. This is so crazy to think about, but I applied to this program in Spain that basically takes students and young people from North America and allows them to move to Spain to teach students in their schools English. And I think that it would be such an amazing, inspiring experience, especially as a writer, because I get to travel around Europe, which is really cool, and be able to just get inspired by everything around me. So I applied for that just a few days ago. It kind of works on a first come, first serve basis, which is really weird. But anyway, it kind of works on that first come, first serve basis. So I did the application right away as soon as it opened up. And I am number 320 or something like that on the list. And when I first saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, like that's so many, I'm probably not going to get in. But then I did some more research into it, which I've done tons of research for, by the way, already, but I did even more research into it and found this girl who had a blog, and she wrote an article about like her experience, and she got her first choice pick and was like 2,000 and something in the wait list. And I saw that number and I was like, wow, first of all, that's a crazy amount of like people that they hire for this. And secondly, that gives me so much hope that I too will be able to get it. And if so, if I am accepted to this, I'll find out probably in like April or May, possibly even June. And then I'll have to accept it and start applying for my visa. And if all goes well, I will be moving to Spain around September of this year. So if I am accepted and if all of that happens, I'll be moving to Spain. And so I obviously had to include that in my 2019 goals because, wow, that would be, there's no words. There's literally no words. I can't even describe how amazing that would be. Like, and I haven't even been accepted yet. I don't even know what I'm going to say once I'm actually accepted. So some more goals for 2019 is I want to continue this Book Fiends Club. As I said, we started back in the 1st of January, and obviously this group of book fiends that I have created is just so amazing. They're such talented, lovely, funny, beautiful, amazing writers. And I just can't wait to become greater friends with them in the future as we continue this Book Fiends book club. Other things that I want to grow is my story solids business that I mentioned earlier. I have actually opened it up to accepting affiliates. So if you have a kind of writerly bookish platform and you're interested in becoming an affiliate and get a small commission from a sale that you directed to Story Solids, go ahead and click the link in the description below and sign up for my affiliate program. I would love to have you on the team. Next up, I want to try to do more lives on Instagram. So if you follow me on Instagram, you may know this, but a couple of months ago, I basically told everyone I was going to start a podcast. And I was super excited about this podcast. I had a lot of awesome podcast topic ideas that I wanted to do for y'all, but it's just so much work, guys. Like I'm you know, writing, I'm doing this Book Fiends Club, I'm doing Story Solids now, I'm keeping up with Instagram, I'm still trying to figure out Twitter, and then now I'm back on YouTube again. It's just so many platforms that I'm trying to balance, and so I don't really think that I'm going to end up doing the podcast after all. I think that would be stretching myself a little too thin. But in order to remedy that situation, I wanted to do it in the form of Instagram lives on Instagram, where that way I can like be on camera and be able to interact with all of you and answer any questions that you have based on the topic that I'm covering that week. And then maybe that'll make it even easier to have like special guests and interviews and stuff like that on there as well. And my plan for that is that when I'm doing the live, I'll be like screen recording it so that I can upload it onto IGTV and have it there for a more permanent stay than just 24 hours so that anyone who missed it can go on there and check it out and be able to see that. The last thing that I want to do is I want to read 30 books during 2019. So originally I thought, oh, I'll just do the 52 books because I do typically average about a book a week, but at the same time, those are kind of like shorter average size books. And I have some bigger, thicker books on the horizon and on my TBR list. So I am definitely going to need some extra time for those. So I played it a little bit safe and set my goal for my TBR of 2019 to read 30 books. Maybe I'll get even more than that, which would be so awesome. But yeah, so I'm going for a 30 book goal for 2019. Oh, and one more thing. I said lastly for the other one, but whatever. This video is entirely unscripted. You may have noticed that by the total horrible amounts of ums and looking off into the camera thinking. But this video is unscripted, and I like doing this unscripted videos a little bit more because, one, they're easier to edit, so it doesn't take as long. It's not quite as time consuming, and two, it's just so much more fun, and I'm able to just basically have a conversation with you, and I think that's just so much more relaxing and so much more fun for me. So you can expect more unscripted videos like this and little tea talks where I'm holding my cup of tea here, sipping on it during breaks, and just have a conversation with you and talk to you about what's going on in my life, what's going on in my writing, and talk to you more about Karma's Children and all of my bookish projects. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I am so glad to be back on YouTube once again, giving you content. I have some more videos planned for later on this week, and I am super excited to share those with you. So without further ado, thank you guys again so much for watching, and I will see y'all next time. Bye!